So apparently Simon Cowell's label Psycho deemed that Fifth Harmony were becoming total divas and thus why they were not prepared to release another album. And this led to them breaking up. Now we're going to talk about this, guys, but before we get into that, hello and welcome to Queendom TV. And today we're going to be talking about Fifth Harmony. Now in this video we're going to be discussing their unreleased songs. We're going to be discussing why they ended, and thanks to one of you guys in the comment section who actually informed me that they had so many unreleased songs that I could actually check those songs out, which I did, and it was very fascinating what I found. I'm going to be talking about some things that I wanted to point out, but also discussing this diva claim and the problems that I have with Hollywood labeling people, and also how interesting and how coincidental all of that was and how much it helped the label much more than it did the girls. So for those of you that don't know, there are many unreleased songs by Fifth Harmony. I also didn't know until one of you guys told me, which is why you guys should comment on my video and subscribe if you're enjoying it. But I also didn't know about all of these unreleased songs, and there were some songs that sound pretty good on there. I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I'd heard this song, you know. And the reason why I wanted to highlight this, not just because one of you guys mentioned it, but also because I feel like it's so important. That one thing I don't think a lot of people understand is when you're an artist, you can't just, as much as you have your songs that have been written for you, you also can't just decide you're going to write a song and just write it and just and just release it, because it's down to the label and all these people to confirm and to allow you to do that. And I'm going to talk about this with regards to Kanye West. That was something he struggled with very early on. I've actually got a video coming up about that. How when he initially was a producer, he then wanted to become a rapper, which now it's crazy to think that this was his journey. But when he had signed with his label, the label was actually the ones that were not allowing him to release his album and were not even opening up his budget. So he ended up doing a whole bunch of work by himself, recording, making songs, making his own music video with his own money, because even though he had finally signed a deal that he'd worked so hard to get, that they made it so hard for him to get, they still weren't really allowing him to do what he needed to do, and he had to prove himself to a label that he was already signed to, and that's how he ended up doing everything else. So that's just how the industry is, and that's why we're talking about it, because it's not acceptable. And so for these artists, they can't just release songs, right? If they want to. This is something that also Chris Brown has spoken about, which I'm going to be speaking about him as well. It's kind of been a long time coming, but yeah, I'm going to be speaking about him as well. A lot of artists have songs that are unreleased, and there's many reasons why the songs go unreleased. One of which could be that that they just decided that they didn't like the song, whether it be the people themselves in the song, whether it be the label. A lot of the times, like I said, the decisions fall with the label to make these types of decisions if they want to put that stuff out there. But the other reason I want to talk about today is highlighting something that I've been talking about. And I've been talking a lot about how these people are products, they're not people. JoJo herself even said this. Another artist who I've started talking about recently. They have certain product. They treat these people like products, and as products, it's not just what we might think, which is, oh, they have an album and they put all these songs together because the girls love them and they wrote it with the writers and it was amazing. That's how it should be. A lot of the time, they're just trialing out songs with other people to see who they think is going to be as successful with that song. And this is what we'll see here. So, for example, there was a song that Fifth Harmony did called Monies, which was originally given to Tinashe. Which was originally Tinashe, which you guys can check that out. They've got in this video that I saw, which is a great video. Thank you to the one of you who mentioned to me that I should look for this video, because this person in that video, they've actually included clips so you can actually hear Fifth Harmony singing, and then you can also hear like the people that I'm mentioning. A lot of the time you can hear them singing it as well. There was one song that was called Better With You, which they ended up selling to Jason Derulo. So again, this whole idea of like, we might sing a song being there that has been written and I guess decided by the label and their writers and whoever that this is a song that's going to be popular, then it's who do we think is going to sell this song the best, right? As opposed to what we might be thinking, which is an artist birthing something from inside and creating something that they want to put out there. This is the one that got me. I don't know if you guys know the song Anything Can Happen by Ellie Goulding, but apparently that song was also sampled with Fifth Harmony. And the reason why I wanted to talk about that one in particular, and just go and search that song if you don't know, it's not coming into your mind as soon as you've heard it. And you can hear also in this video, again, Fifth Harmony singing along to it. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because isn't it crazy how Ellie Goulding to me and Fifth Harmony are completely, Ellie Goulding, Fifth Harmony, Tinashe, and Jason Derulo. These different artists, you wouldn't necessarily class in the same category. You wouldn't necessarily find everybody's, if you're a big fan of Jason Derulo, then you're going to be a big fan of Ellie Goulding. Or if you're a big fan of Ellie Goulding, you're going to be a big fan of Fifth Harmony, right? They're kind of in their own little pockets, right? And it's weird, isn't it crazy how even though that's the case, that's not what this is about. This is about who is going to sell this song the best. That's what the labels care about. That's all they care about. They care about how we're going to make money. We've got this song. We believe it's good. Our writers know how to write an award-winning, a money-making track, right? Whose voice is going to work the best for that? And that's what I wanted to highlight by taking out these 3 examples of these songs, of these types of things, and why I think it became such a big issue. Because the issue for Fifth Harmony, as we've discussed, and I'm going to continue to discuss, and I will be talking about Camila Cabello a little bit in this video, but way more so in more videos to come. As another one of you guys asked if I'm going to talk about the racism thing, I am going to address it, and I have actually got the Tumblr. I found like online the Tumblr stuff from before, so I've been able to see them myself. So I'll be able to talk about all that racist stuff in another thing, but in another video. But what was I even saying? Yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it? How they don't get to write their own songs, and what we would think they would be having, they don't have. Like the opportunity to write, the opportunity to produce, and all of this stuff. They're just there. They're just there to fill the gap for the fact that they need somebody who has a talent that they can manipulate, basically. And that brings me on to them leaving. Because one of you guys, the same one of you who mentioned about the unreleased songs, you were saying to me how Ali Brooks had come out and said, which by the way, Ali's singing worship music, which I'm so glad that she's here for Jesus. Love that for me. Love that for us. Love that for everyone. But she came out apparently and was saying that part of the reason that they split up in 2018 is because the label no longer wanted to allow them to release any more albums. So I decided to delve more into that whole thing. And then I found something very interesting. This is from thesun.co.uk, so you guys can go and search it for yourself. Simon, according to thesun.co.uk, backed that the girls wouldn't be making a new album after the label Psycho, S-Y-C-O, which is funny, Psycho, so funny. Irony, because the Hollywood, a lot of them are psychos if you ask me, but anyway. They lost faith when they turned into total divas. This, they said, well, they turned into total divas, now we've lost faith. Okay. Now, let's address this. I don't like this whole thing of like calling people divas and stuff, especially for women. I feel like with women, this happens in a lot of scenarios. And again, you guys know I'm not a social activist because I believe that a lot of this has just gone too far. But what I will say, there are a lot of situations where when a woman or group of women stand up for themselves with certain things that are fair and right, there's a tendency to instantly be assumed as being difficult or being a diva. So I really don't like this. I feel like this is a complete what's the word I'm looking for, manipulation of the public. Because as soon as you hear words like that, you're gonna go, oh well, Simon said they were divas and they were hard to work with. But I think what was really going on here goes on to the next part. Because what happened is the label decided that they wanted to focus on Camila Cabello after Havana did so well. And the interesting thing about that, which I touched on in one of my previous videos about Fifth Harmony, is the fact that the reason why Camila had to leave is because they didn't want to allow her to write her own music. That was one of the biggest reasons she left. And she wanted to go and do that. She goes to do that. She becomes successful. Now the label wants to focus more on Camila because of her success that she did alone, because they obviously didn't think she was going to be that successful. They wanted her to do everything their way, but now they want the money, because to me, they just want to go be a part of that success and benefit off of her talent again. And so they've turned away from the other girls, because now the group thing, it's now like Camila by herself has outdone them having a group because she's doing so well now. And now it kind of works for her because they're probably going to say, oh, you get to write your own music now, which probably caused more tension again amongst who? The girls. Because like, oh, so now you're not letting us release any more albums. You've got all of this unreleased music. And imagine being an artist having all these songs you've made, all these things that you're so excited to share with the world, and the world never gets to hear them. I think that's so sad, you know. But that's essentially what took place. And so now they turned their attention to Camila. And that's why I feel like with Simon Cowell and whoever else, and in this article on the sun.co.uk, which you guys can check it out, they're saying that Simon had backed the claims that they lost faith in the other girls because they turned into divas, right? I feel like that was just a made-up excuse for the fact that they didn't want to get caught out to be seen to just be doing what they're really doing, in my opinion, which is we're just going to go wherever the money goes. Wherever we think we're going to make the most money, whatever we think is going to be the best bet, that's the pathway that we're going to follow. And that's what I think isn't fair. That's what I think isn't right. And I feel like, you know, doing these kinds of things, when you're the rest, imagine, right? Let's say what I'm saying is true, right? How unfair is that for everybody involved? It's unfair for us in society because we could be being sold an incorrect narrative of what's actually going on, right? And we could maybe be not supporting Fifth Harmony anymore because we think they're divas or this and that, right? It's not helpful for the girls and Camilla, because although Camilla's getting to do what she wants, her career has been very rocky. Again, I feel, because I watched a video that was talking about why she's not had been as successful, obviously, to do all this race stuff and everything and all of that, which again, that was its own thing, but also her being separate from the girls, and as we know, them having to compete even when they were in the group to be on tracks, plus having all these songs that they've done that people never got to hear that they were probably so excited about. It's just like how only people that gain in this situation is the labels. It is the labels, the management, all those people who are connected, all the gatekeepers. They're the ones who are making money off of this. They're the only ones who have to gain here, and everybody else, in my opinion, ends up being victim. Us, the public, because we want to support people, we get sold narratives. The media's going crazy. The media also benefits, but to me, they're all in the same category, as you guys know. All those people, I put them all together because they all work together and they all support each other and they don't care about anything else. And like, Ali to me doesn't seem like a diva. The rest of the girls, to my opinion, they don't seem like divas at all. If anything, I feel like the reason, if they had any attitude, which people have spoken about their attitude. Also, this Sun article that I read, by the way, guys, if you go and read it, go see how rude this is. Because they were so rude and so horrible towards the rest of these girls. I was like, are you really going to talk about these girls like this in a full-blown, like, professional article like this? Like, I was shocked, right? And again, they've just run off. They probably, again, because you guys know, and from my media playlist, if you haven't watched it, you should watch it by now. And if you've heard me say it 3 times and you still haven't, you need to go, because you're going to see how a lot of these companies, they own multiple things. It will be like a news company then owns a online website journalism company, then owns a record label, then owns a book publishing company, then owns something else. They do this on purpose so they can have control at all levels. So even with that article that I saw on the sun.co.uk, I wouldn't be surprised if the reason why that article came out in that way is because somebody who owns that company, who may own a lot of other companies, may be in connection with Psycho, may be in connection with whatever, and they're like, listen guys, if we all work together, you do what you want to do, Simon, you go and do whatever you're doing and support Camilla now. We'll come up with a reason, give us a reason, say they're divas, that sounds great. The people will love that. The people are desperate for tea. They're gagging for it. Okay, good. We're gonna post that story in the sun.co.uk. And that's how it is. As long as you pay us to do the story, and then he pays them. I don't know. Because they said that they can reveal. If you read that article, it says, we can reveal that Simon Cowell has backed the claim that. So he is giving them, however they've got this direct quote, which again to me suggests that these guys are all working together. The artists, poor artists, the talent are the ones who are just there to be used, abused, disposed. Us, the public, are feeding into being brainwashed, being not always necessarily brainwashed, a lot of time being just lied to, right? Bold-faced lied to, being deceived. There we go, being deceived. And so behaving accordingly, and we don't end up getting what we deserve. The talent doesn't end up getting what they deserve, and all these people just continue to go on and make money. And it's just crazy. And that's why, even though all these unreleased songs, it's a loss to us, but it's not a loss to them, because to them, they never cared about the songs. They cared more about how we're going to make sure we make money. And they'd rather record 20 songs over the space of, I don't know, 20 days even, right? And if they find the 5 songs that are going to be popular and they're going to make them millions for 20 months or 20 years, right? And then allow the girls to do what they want to do. That's a very small, if you think about it, it's a very small thing for them to let go of. Whereas a lot of artists out there, I believe, whether it's their favorite work or not, would just release their songs. This is something that Chris Brown used to do quite a lot. He used to just release songs, you know, and I think a lot of them, sometimes they leak their own songs because they just want the fans to hear it. It's like, look, at this point, I just want to get my art out there. I just want people to hear it. what I have to say, you know. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about this. Obviously, I'm going to be continuing this Fifth Harmony thing. I'm going to be talking about the girls. I'm thinking about doing a video about each of the girls individually as well, because I think it'd be interesting for me to just analyze like what I've seen of them individually since then. Obviously, a lot of people want to hear about Camilla as well, and discuss that and just the stuff to do with race, because that's obviously been a big subject on the channel as well. But of course, don't forget to check out the Fifth Harmony playlist. Look out for my other videos coming up. Subscribe please if you've enjoyed this video. I would love to have you guys here. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I want to know what y'all think. I want to know, you know, what do you agree, do you disagree, have I said things that have shocked you? Like, how do you feel? Of course, don't forget to hit the like button, and other than that, God bless you all, and I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.